Okay, this video is going to be about how to write conversion factors. We're going to be using conversion factors in dimensional analysis. And so you need to understand what a conversion factor is and how to write one, how to use it. So your basic conversion factor is used to convert from one type of unit to another. So for example, if you have the equality that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters, right? You can turn that into a conversion factor, which can be written as 1 meter over 100 centimeters. And we can also write that as the inverse 100 centimeters over 1 meter. So for every equality, you'll have two different conversion factors that you can write. And these conversion factors that you're going to be using will help you get from one type of unit to another. So for example, if you're asked how many centimeters are there in 592 meters, then you could use the conversion factor. You could say, let's convert 592 meters into centimeters, okay? And you can use a conversion factor. Now, some of these conversions, some of us may be able to do in our heads, but when they get more complicated, it's really useful to be able to set up the problem in this format. So, for example, to convert meters to centimeters, we need to get rid of the unit of meters. So what we're going to do is put meters in the denominator of our conversion factors. We're going to pick which of these two conversion factors has the meters in the denominator, because the meters are going to cancel the same way that variables are going to cancel when we're doing algebra. So let's use the conversion factor that has 1 meter in the denominator and 100 centimeters in the numerator. So this is the way that we want to have our conversion factor set up, and this enables us to cancel the unit of meters. Let's actually use a different color to cancel units. So we're going to cancel out meters here, and that means we're going to be left with centimeters in our unit. So if we want to know how many centimeters are in 592 meters, according to the way that we've set this up, this means that we're going to multiply the number 100 times 592. And if you do that, your answer is going to be 59,200. So we see that there are 59,200 centimeters in 592 meters. Let's do another example. Let's say we want to know how many meters there are in, let's say, 2.5 miles. So we want to convert 2.5 miles into meters. So the way that you want to set up these problems is to start by writing an equal sign and then writing the units of your answer. In this case, our answer should be in meters, and the unit for meters, or the symbol for a meter, is a lowercase m, which we just did on the last problem. And we know that we have 2.5 miles that we need to convert into meters, so we're going to start with that number over here on the left-hand side. 2.5 miles, and we can abbreviate miles with an mi. Now the question is, how are we going to convert from miles to meters? And you may or may not have one direct conversion factor, but I happen to know that there are 1,609 meters in a mile. So 1 mile equals 1,609 meters. So that's an equality. And we want to write that equality as two possible conversion factors. The first one would be 1 mile per 1,609 meters would be one way to write the conversion factor. And the other conversion factor would be 1,609 meters per 1 mile. So again, we see with every equality, there are two possibilities for your conversion factors. Now, remember that we're going to treat the units just like variables in algebra. And in order to get rid of one variable in algebra, you can divide by the same variable, right? So if we have miles on top, we need to get miles on the bottom in the denominator of our conversion factor. So we can just draw a horizontal line and write miles, because just to orient yourself, just to know, okay, I need to get rid of miles, put it on the bottom. So draw the horizontal line, put miles on the bottom. So that's going to cancel your unit of miles. But we need to get to meters, so we're going to have meters on top. And then you're going to look at your two conversion factors and see which version with miles on the top and meters on the bottom, or meters on top and miles on the bottom, do we need to use? Obviously, it's the latter, so we'll put 11609 meters on top and 1 mile on the bottom. I apologize for my handwriting. I'm just trying to get used to using this new stylus, and the spacing and everything is kind of interesting for me. There we go. Better, I guess. Okay, so in order to find the number of meters in 2.5 miles, it looks like we're going to have to multiply by 1609. You can think of these conversion factors as if they're in parentheses, and so you know that you need to multiply across the top, and then if we had something on the bottom, then we would divide through the bottom. In this case, we just need to multiply 2.5 times 1609. And there's nothing in the denominator to divide by. Again, we get to cancel the units. We're canceling out miles. And we're left with meters, which is great because that's the unit that we want in our answer. So we're going to end up multiplying 1609 by 2.5. And most of us will want to use a calculator to do that. So 1609 times 2.5, pop that in your calculator. And what are you going to get? You'll get 4,000, converting back to the color of choice, 4,000, oops, what the heck? Oh, bear with me. Try this one more time. 4,022.5 is what my calculator spat back at me. Okay, and then keep in mind we always want to check our significant figures. We're multiplying a number with 4 significant figures times a number with two significant figures. So our answer should have 2 significant figures, which would be 4,000, and then this 0 would be significant. So how do we do that? How do we make that clearly 2 significant figures? Well, we're going to write that in scientific notation, which would be 4.0 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3. So we're starting here. We're going to go over 1, 2, 3. So 4.0 times 10 to the third meters. Again, always remember to include the unit in your answer. And my problem definitely got a little bit messy, so I'm making double sure that I box in my answer so that the instructor can find it. The instructor being me, obviously. Yeah, so there's another example for you, and hopefully you find that helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions.